All right, we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is setting up your trucks. And I don't know how many people's trucks I have flown out to and completely gutted them, basically, literally taken everything out of their truck, all the equipment, all the tools, everything out there because it's just a mess. Okay. Don't know any other way to say it than it's just a disaster. And so how do you run a productive, efficient crew or demo or monitor or setting up equipment when you don't even have your truck set up properly? So it's one of the big things that I had to learn with our own company as we grew from 1 truck to 2 to 18. If we didn't have some consistency and some accountability on how those trucks were going to be cleaned and stocked, it just became a disaster. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is just give you a quick little video of what you're going to see in this section over here for setting up your truck. There's a bunch of little videos. This is a video you can watch of me putting it together a truck for a client in Texas. This was a 16-foot box truck that he wanted done. We built the shelves in. You can see that if you build the shelves yourself, you can customize the heights, the widths, whatever you need. And then I'll show you some other video photos later of how we separate those systems in to make sure that you know where all your supplies are. So we're even labeling these, right? This is where our HEPA air scrubbers go. This is where our Benefect goes. This is where our zipper goes. Again, this was a real basic getting him started. If you want to label things, make it more fancy, great, absolutely go for it. But again, we're trying to just get started. How many zipper boxes here? How many cartridges for mold, red tape, blue tape, excuse me, trash bags. These guys used Milgo for sewage. That's what they used. I'm not here to promote one product over another, but you decide which ones you want, and then you let everybody know where it goes in the truck. And later, I'll show you how much easier this is going to be with our truck checklist. Let me get back up to where that was. Okay. So again, he's decided to put his portable extractor over here in the corner. This one will actually lay on its back and strap it in with his hoses, everything there. Let me scroll through a little bit more. You've got some truck mount setups. Again, refer to your Ramsco sales rep when it comes to your truck mount setups. I can also go through it. We had 17 of them at our company at one time. I think we probably had 25 total, roughly, truck mounts. Sometimes, depending on its carpet cleaning, water damage restoration, or commercial losses, depending on what you're doing, big scale things, it can change what you set them up in. And we're not here to tell you a box truck is the only way to go. You can do trailers, you can do cargo vans, you can do just about whatever you want. We're not really going to get into how to set up a semi. That's never something that I've done. But for large loss teams, I know there's people who do that, so apologize that isn't in this section. A couple other examples here. These are more of your shelves that you would get at like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. Big thing I would do is if you can't make these exactly the size you want, do totes. Do a lot of totes and then label the totes and then strap the totes in so everything stays organized and not just flung all over the place. Easy to put up your extraction hoses and things like that on the side. This is another truck mount that's got a side door in it going out the back and the side, both systems. You can put the hose reel over here, the solution lines on top of each other. There's just so many different ways to do this. I left this picture in here because, yes, you could buy bins like these, but they still do get a little scattered, a little, not real organized. So if you do those, just make sure you label what's going to go into each bin so people know what goes. I do love this garbage can, these heavy duty ones where you can put either your shovels and brooms and zip pulls and things like there if you want to. If you don't have room elsewhere, just strap it to the wall, or these guys are using it for all their plastics and floor protection and things. Same little photo there. All right, let me skip this over. Oh, this is one other one where they've got the truck mount coming out the side door. So the side door over here is the truck mount. They built a wall so they can use this, and then they've got all their equipment over here with the hoses out there. So it's just so many different setups with what you're looking at. Let me go to this one. This is going to run you through a bunch of questions, items for you to think about. I mean, is it cold in the winter? Do you have small city streets that you're trying to get in and out of? A 16-foot box truck might not be feasible. It might be too big for the little cities that you have to deal in downtown. So you might have to do something different. What kind of gas do you want to get? Learn from my mistakes, which is a lot in this writing here. Gas or diesel, portable truck mounts. What's the determining factor? Do you want a ramp? Do you want a lift gate? Things like that to think about. We do recommend, and a ton of clients over the last 5 years have used these U-Hauls. The nice thing with them is that you can, they give you a maintenance log of the truck, so you know that they've been taken care of maintenance-wise. Also, most people aren't driving crazy when they're driving a used, a U-Haul or a Penske or something like that, because one, they've just signed like a 4-page document saying if you scratch anything, you're going to pay for it. And two, usually it's got somebody's items in the back that they don't want to break. So we found these to be pretty reliable, and anywhere from between $8,000 to $15,000 in price most of the time. I do prefer these U-Haul ones because they do generally give you the 3 seats in here, and you get this granny attic, which I'll show you how to take advantage of that here in a second with one of the photos that I did in Colorado. Let's see here. This is that truck in Colorado, kind of a close-up of the shelves with the air movers. A little better view of the side with the extraction tools all sitting here. I'll keep going for a second here. You've got the truck mount up front on this side. This is just how it worked out for us in this truck, the way we did these 3. I think we did 5 trucks like this. And then here's kind of that outside view. So extraction equipment, extractor, waste tank. And then this is that granny attic area. So we put additional air movers, built a shelf up here where we could put our floor drying system up there, at least the mats and the hoses and everything, so they stayed out. And then as far as supplies go and tools, things like that, we put these little 2x4s into each section so that nothing was moving around. It was really nice. And so when you get to checking off what you have and what you don't have on your truck, it makes it really easy if those things are labeled and in the same spot every time. Now, let me scroll back up here. Back when I did this, most of the air movers that were available, okay, the bigger style, which was fine, they worked well, but they didn't stack really well in vehicles. So these are those more of those low profile ones. This is one example of the Phoenix ones. There's others, Cyclones and Dry's have them out there, but the low profile ones, man, they take up less room. They stack really nice. So you can see how many air movers this client of ours was able to put on one shelf in his truck. Okay, pretty nice setup that he did. And he's also got those newer dehumidifiers that can sit on top of each other and be strapped in to take up less space. So just lots of different things for you to think about. There's a little true or false test down here for you to take also. Wanted to show you just a little example of how to do a trailer. Let's say you're getting into the business and you have a truck already, but you don't want to go buy another box truck or something. You can just get a trailer for $4,000 to $8,000 in your area. Really, if you can get the 7-foot by 14, is going to give you a lot of room, but a lot of people do a 6 by 12. Those usually just aren't quite as sturdy, especially when you start loading all your demo in there. So just be careful that you don't overload it. But here's a client of ours that began with a trailer, put the shelves in, strapped everything in, got the extraction equipment, hoses and things over here. I believe this is their HEPA vacuum, the vacuum pack, backpack one. And then portable extractor here. So you can kind of see how they set up a trailer. So there's lots of options to get yourself going. Nice thing is if you set it up with, say, like a trailer or a used box truck, let's say you get growing and your business expands. We do this with a lot of clients that their second truck, they'll say, okay, now I've got some momentum, I've got some money coming in, I'm feeling good about this. Then they buy a newer truck for their second one. Then they use that as the primary, and then the trailer or the used box truck as kind of the backup as you get going. So back in our day when we had our first 3 go-to extraction and restoration trucks, and then we had a 4th one, which was kind of our use if we need to box truck when we had large losses to take a lot of equipment or lots of demo bags. Last thing on here, which there's a separate video that you can watch, is the truck checklist, okay? Big thing is once you get it all organized, you want to have a truck checklist so you can grab these in the morning, usually a helper or an assistant, which I've talked about before. While you're getting the day rolled out, let them check off the truck. And then this owner just had 2 bins where they pick it up here and they put it back in here each morning to check it off. So hopefully this has been helpful for you on this section. Go through the different photos, see what you need, but most importantly, get in touch with us if you feel like you need to talk one-on-one about what you do before you go buy a brand new truck or buy $6,000 worth of metal shelving. Those are great, but a lot of times that's not needed in the beginning to get you started. So reach out to us, let us know. Again, I don't know how many trucks I've taken apart, but probably 20 to 30, 40 of them for companies across the country, and then showed them how to redo them, set them up properly. so their truck can be more efficient. So hopefully this has been helpful, and we'll see you on the next tip.